Hey, this is Andrew Norb, and welcome to A Fool's Errand, a podcast where we plan to fail, make mistakes, and learn 12 skills in 12 months. It's episode 2, week 1 of chess. This week's definitely had a lot of ups and downs. We will get into how it went today and discuss my losses and how I tried to learn from them. Thanks everyone for coming out here and listening to our second episode. As mentioned in the previous episode, if you don't really know what this is or you're new around here, I'd advise going back to that trailer and listening to it. But it's kind of designed so you can hop on at any point. Around here where you're trying to learn 12 skills in 12 months, and in the month of January, I am trying to master the skill of chess and get a chess rating of 1600, which is about a mid-level player. A mid-level, competitive player. This week has been interesting. It's the first real week. Last week we just kind of talked about Monday and the weekend at the beginning of the year, but this is real first real week of January. It's been good and bad. There's lots of stuff. We'll get into that later. Sorry if you can hear the rain outside. As mentioned previously, I'm recording in my RV, so rain's pretty loud in here. There's a little bit of a sprinkle. This week was definitely interesting. I was expecting losses, and lots of losses actually, throughout this month, and I was expecting to sometimes have lower points than I started with, but I did not expect that point would come so quickly. So really the main thing that I was learning and thinking about this week was dealing with losses. Chess is an interesting game, since every time you lose, it's your fault, or it's your opponent's strength, and therefore if you would have been stronger, you would have been able to win. There is defined skill. There's no luck in it. So throughout this week, all of my losses are actually more informational than a loss in maybe another type of skill, because it's very easy to tell why I was losing. And there are definite losses right there. A game you lost. They're not definite, mistakes. I mean, they're mistakes, but I mean, there's not a waste of time. Losing is how I'm going to get better at chess. But unlike some other skills where it's kind of hard to tell how well you're doing chess, I'm knowing that this week was interesting. My goal was to have 100 points every week, and that means by the end of the month I will have 1,600 points because I started at 1,200. But I did also hope that maybe I could get 200 points for the first week, so then on the next couple weeks I wouldn't have to get 100 points, because I thought that maybe those last 100 points may be way harder than the first 100 points, because it's by that point, I'm having to beat harder and harder people to get more and more points. And we will see if I achieved that. So let's just jump right into some days. Good morning, guys. So you may have heard on the last episode, I don't have a warehouse accessible currently, so I thought I may as well make my room office welcome and nice. I cleaned my room in the last episode of the podcast, but my room has a way of becoming dirty within 8 seconds. And not just that, it's just dirty to the core. I mean, we got stuff behind furniture, stuff on furniture, hasn't been mopped in possible years. So I'm gonna really do an in-depth clean today to make this space nice to work in, and also to appease my parents slightly. They didn't tell me to do this, but they're going to at some point. So I might as well get it out of the way when I want to. Then I can use my room with more efficiency, and yeah, we'll see how that goes. I need to get 22 points today if we want to stay on schedule. I also have a couple other things I need to and want to do. So that all sounds great. Yeah, as you can hear on Tuesday, I wanted to just clean out my room. I didn't even plan on playing any chess. I just wanted so the rest of the week I could play chess in this nice, clean space. I could have a good office to work from. I knew 3 chess sets felt like too few. I just found my Chinese chess set from China that has Chinese soldiers carved out of what looks like bone but probably isn't. It's a cool one. I'll set that up. Stuffed at the back of what's it called? A closet. Don't you have a way of finding things you weren't even looking for when you're cleaning? Yeah. When I was talking about all my chess sets last week and gathering them up, I was I feel like I have more than just a Mexican chess set and a Peruvian chess that's from another country. I feel like I had one before that kind of started it. And it was a Chinese chess set that my parents got while they were in China. They gave it to my brother Elijah, actually, but he's gone off on a church mission, so it's mine now. Everything he left behind became mine. I'm nervous this will take me like all of today, and there's that chance. But I think the investment now is worth it for the bonuses I will gain from being able to work in here. As long as I can consistently keep it clean, I'm going to have to really try at that, so then I can have a workable office. And I just think it would be nice to have a clean room that I can live in. So I'll get on that, and maybe I can work Saturday if it does take me all of today, so I can have that. I don't waste a day. I think it is incorrect to think of that as wasting a day. Looking back, it's definitely helped the rest of my week to have a clean space to be able to work in. I think sometimes if it's not the main thing, that can feel like a waste, but it's definitely helpful to get those things done, to get yourself the space you need. And it was just I needed a clean room. I needed a space. The warehouse wasn't working, and we still haven't got the Wi-Fi to work, so I needed a space, and I decided to use my room. And my room was just very overdue for cleaning, and I finished off, was much better looking at the end of that cleaning experience. I wish I would have taken a before and after picture. Before, we have this dresser that my brothers share, and we kind of like, it's a good surf, it's a big dresser, and you literally couldn't see the dresser. There was so much stuff on top of it. You couldn't see like the surface, but I cleared all of that off, so it was almost entirely empty. I moved all the furniture and swept underneath them, where there was like so much dust I could have made a sandbox out of it. It was crazy messy in there. Okay, I was gonna walk into town to play some chess, using the library internet, which extends all over the center square of town, which is really convenient for me. But on my way in, very perfectly, I got an email that said that our chess books are here, so I can go snag those and maybe do some reading while I'm in town. It's been such a long time since I checked out a book from the library, you know? With COVID, yeah. Thank you very much. That sounds great. Have a good day.
You too.
Bye. I have my books in hand. We have Learning to Play Chess Like a Boss and Chess Strategy for the Tournament Player. Those both look interesting. I think I will do some chess playing first, and then I think I might crack these open while I get like a drink at a restaurant or something. I got those books, and I was going to play chess in town, but I discovered I had forgotten my cord to my computer, and it was running out of power, so I was not able to play a game. Also, the books, which I'm very much glad to have, and I got back home and started to crack them open and read them. But I discovered that I don't read chess notation, like when it's like E4 or B6 or whatever, when it's telling you like B or bishop to like D6, it's telling you where the pieces are going. I thought when I first got them that like you just had to be like some type of genius and just like look at those and like understand what they were saying. Like I understand like what they mean if I have a chess set in front of me, but I discovered later that you are supposed to play those games out with the people in the chess, like with the book. Like you're supposed to have a chessboard and like be doing those moves and watching while they're talking about them and like giving commentary and teaching lessons. Did not understand that though, so I just like read through them and felt like a real goof and an idiot. But I did actually start to do that without knowing that's what you're supposed to do, and it was working. So, and everything was going really well. I was winning a lot of games. I was at 1309, and I was ahead of schedule. Everything was great. It looked good. Yesterday, we were a little down because I had to do a bunch of things, and I actually did most of the things I had to do, but it was a little difficult. I lost a fair amount of games, which was a little bit scary. I read like a forum where someone claimed that 1600 is actually like a low number. So I was a little sad about that. And then I was sad because I could not read my chess books. I don't know chess notation that well. So like it was like gibberish to me, so I felt like an idiot. And I'm like, what even is the point of this chess book? Is it even gonna help me? And yeah, then a lot of other things I needed to do. But eventually, at the end of the day, I played a good game of D&D with some friends over Discord, so that helped. And now this morning, though we have taken way too long to get started with today, it is 9:55. My morning schedule took longer than normal, but I will play chess for an hour now, and hopefully by the end of that hour, it will be up an amount of points or not, you know? Really what I have to remind myself of is that if I plan to get to 1600, I'm going to have to lose a lot of chess games to learn that. This is about losing and failure. Sometimes that is hard to remember in the moment, though. Today our score is 1309. That is not a terrible score to start with. It's higher than yesterday. I'm fighting someone with a 1402. They're being a little tricky right now. So I have lost 2 long games, and then one. Well, I haven't won it yet. I won't get cocky, but I think I've won this one. I'm a whole queen ahead. Okay, I just won that game. 5 points up. What I'm saying is I got 30 points up. I'm 1305. I think exactly where I started. So I'll just have to win another game now, and then we'll be good. They were a little better than me. They were 1330. Well, they were 1340. So, yeah. But then, disaster struck on Thursday. You know, it really shows the hubris of man that I have played 6 games in a row and lost all of them. And every single one of the games, I thought at one point, this idiot, I'm going to destroy them, and then proceeded to lose. My solution? I'm never going to think that again. I will always assume I am battling a genius. So I'd lost a couple games here, but I thought, hey, there's still a chance of
watch them,
back up.
see how
But
mistakes I made,
I just
what
kept
patterns
losing.
I
It was
recognized.
like almost amazing
And then,
how consistently
guess
I was
from there.
losing. And it was weird because the beginning half of the game
Okay.
I'd do fine,
Just
but then
lost that
I would just
game.
be destroyed.
My score is now
And sometimes it would be even really close, actually, which was in some ways more disheartening because you're like, oh,
42.
I'm losing really
think I
close,
might,
but I still can't win. Like, what am I doing wrong
I think
here?
I might eat dinner, do some more studying in the books, and try for another game. Though I definitely was doing better than before. Like I lost still, but up until the very end of the game, I was doing better. I'm not good at endgame. Maybe I should study endgame a bit. But that means my strategy of intense concentration and lack of hubris is working. But yeah, I'm trying. My new goal is to lose on time rather than to lose on losing. If I'm going to lose, I'm going to lose on time because I want to take as long as I can to make the best moves possible. Because normally I just throw pieces out there, and then I can improve on how quickly it takes me to make those good moves. I actually almost won on time. They only had 15 seconds left, but then they checkmated me. I was just kind of dancing around the board. I could have done way better at something and probably won. I noticed that after the game, but I was nervously moving around the board. I should have taken my time, because if I would have been fine. Admittedly, I was pretty down here. I wasn't recording much during my losses because I was losing a ton, but I think I literally had 6 games in a row where I lost, and I just kept losing against people above me, against people below me, against people of equal score. So my point score was shooting down. I started Friday with a score of 1,240, which means if I just wanted to break even, I would have to earn 60 points. Which wasn't good. So I was going to break even with what I had been on at Wednesday. But I was going to go for it. I was going to try. I went to bed kind of a little disappointed that I was down so many points. I mean, like I said, I expected to lose, but I didn't expect it to happen this early, you know? I was barely above my original point score, and I was already finding a really difficult time doing this, which meant that if I was planning on shooting up, I would have to improve greatly, which is actually kind of my plan, but it was kind of harsh to have that reminded how difficult it might be. I went to bed a little sad, but I woke up the next morning and decided that, hey, you're going to lose, and just like by probability, you're going to sometimes get bad losing streaks, and as talked about, losing the games is probably, the games I lose at will probably be the ones that teach me the most, and I want to get better. And I'm going into this with the intention of losing a bunch of games. So I started off Friday. Score 1242. That means if I want to get to my weekly goal, I'm going to have to win 3 games today against someone of equal ability. Not just that, but I can't lose any. Well, or I have to win 3 net games. I am actually pretty hopeful about this situation. Even though I'm down points, I actually very much expected to sometimes be down points, or even end weeks majorly down points, because the way you learn, especially at a game like chess, is by losing games. And the last couple games I have lost them less extremely, which doesn't sound super hopeful, but it does show an arc, right? There's a graph there, and that graph is tending towards winning. So, I'm going to play a game. I'm going to be super careful. My goal is to lose on time, and then we're going to try to win 3 games. And if I don't, then I can just earn more points next week. Do more study. I think I just need to do more study as well. But a lot of things I need to do today, though, so I don't know if I'll be able to spend the entire day trying to win games.
I definitely was not reading my chess books as much as I should have been. So Friday, I realized that maybe the reason I was losing is because I was just relying off of just learning from the games, but sometimes you need to learn strategy from the books, so I'm going to be using those a lot more. My hope was dampened when I lost a game. I would have to win 3 more games still. I would have to win 4 games, after that loss. I didn't know if I'd have enough time. I had a really busy day. I had to record this podcast. I had to edit. I had to prepare for D&D game. It was a really, really busy day. So I didn't want to exactly end the week on a bad note, but I accepted it if I had to. But then,
Y'all, it worked. I just won my first game. I just beat a player who is at 1,400, which means I gained 40 points, which means I now it was after 1 loss. So I actually now just need to win 2 games still. My strategy of losing on time, if I'm going to have to lose on anything, it's going to be on time. It's been working. Oh, look, this person's barely above me. Let's see. Bringing out the knight first. Alright, here we go, 1285. That's how many points we have. We need 15 more so we can win a game against someone below us, tie a game against someone above us, or let's see. Oh, we're facing someone with 1333 points. That's higher than me, though at one point I did have that many points. So, in this week. So that it seems attainable. Actually, did I? I don't remember. Let's make our move. I've drawn this checklist that I have to go down every time I want to make a move. It makes me take forever to make my moves, but it's worth it. I have to check my pieces and make sure they are all safe and do not have any good moves. Check all their pieces and make sure none of them can move to pin any of my pieces or do anything crazy. Consider what they are planning and why they just did their last move. Pretend I have made my move I want to make and see what the consequences would be. And then on their turn, pretend I'm them and think what they're going to do so I can be prepared when it's my turn. I don't have to do those for the first 5 moves, though, because normally you can be pretty quick with those and nothing crazy happens. Because everyone, has, openings memorized. I'm listening to music while doing this. Helps me focus. I'm going to try something crazy, even though I promised myself I wouldn't try things crazy and I'd play it safe, but you know what? I love it. I should have predicted that better. I should have thought about that more, but it seems fine upon further looking. It wasn't actually that good. Their pawn structure may have actually improved because of it. They resigned! What? I hate when people resign. But because it doesn't give you the satisfaction of winning. But my score went up 28, so I'm at 13-13. We have finished up the week at our goal, even though yesterday it definitely didn't seem like that might be able to be possible, especially because I have a super busy day. I gotta record a podcast, I gotta prepare for a Dungeons & Dragons game tonight. Tons of things going on, but no, it worked. We're fine. I also have to write a bit. In the end, I kind of went in a circle this week, but I did end up more points than I started, 100 more, which is on goal. I think I might try maybe a chess course, or I might do this The website I use, every time you play a game, it suggests talking about another game and how they did well. I think I might watch every single one of those, like, that it suggests to me. I'm going to go back through all my old games and look at how well I did on them to in like what I can emulate. I'm going to lose on time, and I'm going to read my chess book. Even though it turns out with chess notation, I'm pretty sure you're supposed to play through those games, like actually like set up a chessboard and play through them and do that, which does get you like in that mindset more. And I want to be able to like close my eyes and like picture a chessboard, and like if someone says e4 and then like d4, I can like know exactly what's going on and like what moves people are making and everything. So that's relieving. That's nice.
So yeah, this in the end has been a good week. It taught me a good lesson that sometimes going to be down points. A lesson that's kind of trying these 12 months to teach myself that lesson over and over and over again, so I never forget it, which is sometimes you make mistakes and fail, and that's actually what is teaching you. I'd say I'm better at chess than I started this week. That checklist is really helpful to me, and I want to be able to make that a secondhand intuitive thing that I automatically do, kind of like how in driving they teach you the checklist of like check the road, make a prediction, blah, 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 blah. I want to be able to do that with chess and just have that be an intuitive thing, so then I can make those wins easier and I'm not so low on time. Because most of these games I won, I was like half the amount of time as them when I won, but the thing is, time doesn't matter if you won. Time matters if you don't win by the time your chess clock is out, right? You run out of time. But if you don't run out of time, it doesn't matter if you're half their time as long as you won. And it's a lesson I'm trying to teach myself, because sometimes I'm like sitting there anxious, and I'm so anxious I just want to make the move because I want to see what happens next. But it's really important that you tell yourself, like, wait a second, you don't have to make the move. Let's think about it. Let's extrapolate and predict, and not just throw pieces out there because you're nervous / overconfident. But we now must get into our segment, How I Played This Week. So how did I fail this week? Well, every week is filled with failure, but how I failed, I think the biggest way I regret looking back on the week was not recording enough. I don't think I recorded enough audio in the field, those moments when I was down. That would have helped me, reminded me what this is all about, and also would be a more interesting audio experience for you guys. So in future weeks, I'm going to really try to record, you know? I think I also didn't journal enough. I'm drawing on my journaling to remember the ideas I have now, but I don't even remember exactly what I was thinking then already. But if I have that journaling written down, even those times like where you're sad and scared, it's important to journal, because working through the stress can, like, you can figure out its base, and then you can get rid of it a lot easier. If you're journaling when times are tough, and then when times are tough again, you can look back and be like, oh, look, times were tough then, but then I got through it, so you can remember that. Even though it's just one day where I lost a couple chess games, I know that doesn't sound like a lot, but in the moment it was like, it seemed like a bad omen of like, oh, the first week you're already like losing so many games. And though I was trying not to give in to that, and I was still hopeful and wasn't like considering quitting, it was not a good feeling. I felt like I needed to work through those emotions, so I need to journal more, I need to record more, I need to write down my thoughts. One of the other mistakes I made this week, and just chess strategy that I learned from, was hubris. It's really easy for you to start winning or them to make a bad move, and you say, oh, looks like I'm the winner here, and to just start throwing moves out there. I think sometimes we can feel that like hubris and lack of humility comes from a place of believing you're better than other people, and it kind of does. But I think what it comes from at base is actually fear and anxiety, because if you were truly comfortable in your own skin and truly believed that you were like of value, you would never have to put yourself above people because you're comfortable. You have a healthy view. But if you put yourself above people, that's actually because you're scared of being below them. And if you're constantly saying people are worse than you, eventually you're going to say you're worse than people. So I think it came from the fact that I was scared that I was bad at chess. So every time I started to win a little bit, I'd be like, look, I'm good at chess. So now we don't have to think, and we can just, and it was almost a form of anxiety, because anxiety was definitely not helpful either when you were playing chess. Like I said before, you're just like, and throwing those pieces out there because you don't
want to think because thinking is scary. But I tried to work through that, and I hope next week I will not make that mistake again. But if I do, I'll just learn from it and, become more solid in my knowledge. I am hopeful about these oncoming weeks. Maybe I'll be able to surpass 1600. Maybe I'll be able to get to 1800. But I'm just going for 1600 for now. I'm on track there. I'm actually 13 points above track. I don't know if 13 is like a terrible bad omen of unluck. Maybe like next week, like I'm never going to win a game again because of my 13 number. But I'm hopeful. The warehouse isn't working, but I found a solution. I'm working in my room, and that's actually working great. I love my office desk. I'll put a picture in the show notes of it. It's a beautiful desk. It's like 100 years old. My mom found it at a thrift store. It has like a bunch of good books on it that I like to look at, and it's just a pretty desk. My room is clean, which has just been serving me in other parts of life. I have my chess books. I've been reading through them. I'm going to study them more. I think I might start a chess course. I'll look into that. I have not been able to memorize. I planned on memorizing 5 chess players' names this week. I have not been able to do that. I've only fought like the top 5 chess players. I only have Fabiano Carreno, and I think that's how you say his name, and Magnus Carlsen, the top 2 chess players. But if I memorize one a week, because I've got one more this week, then by the end I will have the top 5 memorized. But I want to get a little more into the world than just having the top 5 memorized. We'll have to see. I'll have more time next week, and I still have tomorrow, though normally I'm doing a lot of other things on Saturday. I will try my best, hope for the rest. Thank you guys so much for listening to this podcast, the second episode of A Fool's Errand. In summary, today we learned that you should not be terrified of making mistakes because that causes you to make more. You should actively try to learn from your mistakes and try to document and talk through and journal through, and you'll learn a lot more. Be able to get your way out of those anxious pits. Thank you guys so much for listening. I hope you all had a good week and you were able to advance whatever projects you're working on. If you want to ask any questions about the pod or me or the projects, or maybe suggest strategies, or just tell me what you're doing, you could leave a review, which would also help the pod, or you shoot our Twitter's way, which is A Fool's Errand Pod, where we also post pictures and updates and thoughts about the things I'm doing weekly. You can get some behind the scenes stuff there. You can also go to our YouTube channel, which is A Fool's Errand, and leave a comment there. We will be posting videos if we ever have videos there. I'll normally leave a link in the show notes if we end up having a video of something, and we'll post them online so you can go check those out. But thank you guys so much for listening. Love y'all. Keep fanning.